Well, good morning, and welcome to the Tampa Bay Smart City Alliance's first ever conference on advanced air mobility. My name is Alice Price, and I'm a senior project manager at Atkins North America. Have been with about 24 years of experience in planning, design, and construction for transportation projects here in the Tampa Bay area. And I'm very proud of that, actually, to be living here in Tampa Bay and looking forward to seeing where we're going in the future. Today, I'm very proud to also represent the Florida Department of Transportation, District 7, and our role as a core team member in the Tampa Bay Smart Cities Alliance. As I mentioned, I'm fortunate to have been involved in some of the most significant transportation projects in Tampa Bay history, including the Tampa Interstate Study, Florida High-Speed Rail, Tampa Bay Next, and the implementation actually of Tampa International's Phase 1 Master Plan right here, which resulted in the relocation of the consolidated rental car facility, the construction of the Sky Connect train, and the redevelopment of the South Terminal support area, hopefully, that you experienced on your way in today if you parked in economy. I also helped the airport establish its award-winning sustainability program. We call it LEAF, which is the Legacy of Environmental Actions for Our Future. And we helped implement the area's first utility-scale solar project, which was a 2-megawatt installation on top of the southern parking garage, the economy garage, in coordination with TECO Energy. So I have a vested interest not only in Tampa Bay, but also this airport, and we welcome you here today. Many of you that I've worked with a long time may not realize that I have a couple of degrees, an undergrad and a graduate degree in aerospace and aviation administration from Middle Tennessee State University. And I have a vested interest then in our discussion today, and I'm very, very thankful to serve as your hostess. Also, as a certified planner, I place a lot of emphasis on transportation and sustainability, and I'm excited to see how advanced air mobility can help not only address some of our transportation needs, but also enhance our community and our environment at the same time. Advanced air mobility reframes the term multimodal to me in a 3D context, and while it may seem futuristic, the fact is that it is a rapidly developing industry, and we in Tampa Bay need to be ready to capture the benefits that that industry can offer. So the purpose of this conference today is to elevate our understanding of this initiative, to facilitate connections of the people in the room today, and then to gauge the readiness of our region to embrace this initiative and propel the discussion further. It is important to note that we may not have all the answers today, and that's okay. But the conversation will set the tone for where we want to go next and what actions that we want to take to get there. So you're probably going to hear a lot of jargon. When I went through my program at MTSU, I thought aviation was probably the most packed with acronyms until I got to FDOT and transportation. And I realized they doubled that. So whether you're transportation or you are aviation, you're going to hear a lot of acronyms today. So our speakers, I know, will do their part to try to lead you through that. Also, in assistance of that, if you didn't receive a program, you should grab one. We just put a few of the more common advanced air mobility related acronyms on the back for your use. We also put a few of the resources, just a couple of resources. There are many out there, and you're going to meet a lot of those folks with some of those connections today. I'd like to thank all of our guest speakers that you're going to hear from today. They have volunteered their time to participate today. So as you know, this was a no-cost event to you. We are not paying any of these individuals to be here. They're here because they are excited about what this initiative can do for this region. So I'm very excited to have them all with us today. You're going to hear from federal, state, and local perspectives. You're going to hear from our local governments here in Florida. You're going to learn about the perception of our airport owners here and around the state, and you're going to receive some academic updates from our local professors and students at the University of South Florida. And then we have a great panel discussion planned for you this afternoon featuring companies that are actually manufacturing the aircraft and the infrastructure for this type for the Advanced Air Mobility Initiative. In the audience today, I don't believe I saw any elected officials, correct? Are there any elected officials with us? Okay, well, just to give you an idea of who you are looking at when you look around in the audience, we have local government officials that specialize in mobility, in land use planning, airport planning, and real estate. We have airport owners in the room, consultants, energy companies that signed up, and technology enthusiasts that are all a part of today's conversation in the audience. So I would have acknowledged any elected officials. I think we're good there. I do want to give a special thank you to Joe Lopano and the Tampa International Airport for hosting this event and providing free parking to you as an attendee. If you parked in economy today and you didn't get your voucher ticket for validating, please see Deja at the front desk, and she will help you with that. But I hope that you enjoyed your visit as you came in from the South Terminal Support Area. What a treasure this space is, that when the airport planned their master plan several years ago, they reserved this space for community uses. And then we are so thankful to be able to take advantage of their generosity in that. What a joy. It is now my pleasure to introduce you to my good friend, Bhide. Vic has over 20 years, you can head on up here, Vic, of research, consulting, and local government experience in urban mobility. And unless you want to jump, you can, oh, he's good. Wow. My knees would be shot for about 2 days if I did that. Vic is the director of the City of Tampa's Mobility Department. His duties include the oversight of city's transportation, parking, and stormwater portfolios. He also leads the city's Intersection of Innovation program, which assists local startups in doing business with city government. He serves on the board as a board member for ITS Florida and for the Museum of Science and Industry, or MOSI. He worked on behalf of the City of Tampa to help partner with DOT and USF to form the Tampa Bay Smart Cities Alliance, which he's going to tell you about next. Please welcome him to the stage.
Thank you, Alice. And as you just heard, Alice has done everything. She is a treasure for this region. And she's been involved in so many initiatives. While we have Alice up here, may I also have Dr. Phil Winter stand up real quick? Because we're about to talk about the Tampa Bay Smart Cities Alliance, and I want to acknowledge both Alice and Dr. Winters as founding members. If you could please give them a round of applause. So Alice just mentioned that advanced air mobility is a very rapidly emerging field and will be a key part of various mobility solutions, and we need them all. At the City of Tampa, our adopted strategy is all of the above. But just to bring that to life real quick, today itself, RTCA is holding a similar symposium in DC. August 31st, a few days ago, the City of Orlando hosted a similar symposium. FAA had their symposium in DC in May of this year earlier. And the ICAO, which is a UN body that oversees aviation, has their conference, a 3-day conference that ends today in Montreal. So this is just to say within a 2-week period, we've got all of this activity focused on advanced air mobility with good reason. And we've got great speakers that are going to speak to all of that. Ranging from research, policy, engagement, infrastructure, ConOps, and of course, automation. All right, so back to the Tampa Bay Smart Cities Alliance. Back in 2017, Ed McKinney and Alice Price, Ed McKinney with FDOT District 7 at the time, reached out to the city and asked for a meeting just to discuss different initiatives around ITS. And so we had that preliminary discussion, And one thing after another was, oh, you're working on this, we're working on this as well. You're working on that, we're working on this as well. Why don't we get together? And at the same time, we were working with USF and Qatar, the Center for Urban Transportation and Research, to see how we can partner on smart cities initiatives. So I forget the day in 2017, we were in Dr. Bertini's office. Alice, Phil Winters, Sean, who is now with Google, and we hatched what is today the Tampa Bay Smart Cities Alliance. So what is the alliance? It is a public-private academic alliance, a loose framework, and we're committed to that loose framework to try out different ideas in technology or the intersection of technology and mobility, and then democratize or spread those ideas region-wide. Today, it consists of core team members, as Alice mentioned. That includes FDOT, the City of Tampa, USF, and USF's Qatar specifically. But we also have all of the major counties in the Tampa Bay area, a lot of the cities, and significant public and private stakeholders around that also. What we have done over the years is focused on three main areas. Our three areas of focus are mobility as a service, which the City of Tampa started on, and we'll touch upon that in a second. A regional data platform. The thought behind that was to have a single source of truth for mobility data that the entire region can draw from, because we do have conflicting data sources. And oftentimes that conflicts with what decisions we make about our mobility systems. And then finally, a broadish category, but that facilitates a lot of different initiatives, reimagining infrastructure. And again, the thought was that different agencies would take aspects of these three areas, develop them in their own scale, and if it works, we grow it region-wide. If it doesn't, we move on. This helps us be creative, this helps us be nimble, and keep testing and trying new ideas. So the City of Tampa, like I mentioned, took on mobility as a service. We partnered with FDOT. The idea initially in its conception, and Brandon Campbell, who's the city's representative, Brandon, if you'd raise your hand, worked on this with Alice and DOT all the way through. But the idea was simple. We have many different modes of transportation within the city, right from our streetcar and the ferry in the downtown area to HART and other services around the airport as well. How do we aggregate them around a single tool to make it easier to use these services? That's one part of it. And the other is, how do we learn from the back-end data on what it is that the community wants? Because a lot of these tools generate great insights in the back end that you really can help with decision support, as we have with our parking enterprise. Oh yeah, that was the other thing, to include parking as well, because if the idea eventually is to grow with multiple modes of transportation, you have to facilitate some amount of mode shift, so why not have parking be part of the platform also? So to that end, Park Mobile is integrated with our Mobility as a Service app. Our app provider that was selected was Move It. And again, the idea here also was somewhat entrepreneurial in that we make a small investment to attract a major platform into the Tampa Bay area, incent them to come in here, start providing some services, and over time, they will add to those services organically. And we see that. Move It's been working with HART as well as PSTA, along with Token Transit, to enable fare payments. And currently, it's being used region-wide, not just city-wide. So we have about 87,000 downloads the last time we checked. In the last 30-day period, there were about 5,000 downloads. Any given moment, there are anywhere between 550 to around 900 concurrent users, so that 100-to-1 ratio downloads to users. pretty standard with these kind of applications. And we do look forward to the next phase of this pilot, and that we will touch upon again. But in the spirit of the Smart Cities Alliance, we started with something, integrated transit agencies with FDOT's help, and then we're going to bring it to the entire region with FDOT's help again. The Suncoast Mobility Hub, the regional data platform. This is something that was started by Hillsborough's MPO, now the Transportation Planning Organization, or TPO. The concept here was a regional data platform. We started with Hillsborough County, a platform, multiple local agencies, and then when it came time to scale it up, we partnered with, guess who, FDOT, both for resources as well as capacity. And now FDOT's taken the mantle and taking it region-wide, MSA-wide. And we really look forward to fostering these kind of partnerships continuing forward. So a quick look at, smart cities, smart transportation. This is just a highway example, but as you all are likely very familiar, the gist is to have devices gather data, use software and other tools to create insights, and then translate that into either actions or control, depending on whether you're addressing people or systems that support people ultimately. So in the example here, of course, these are mainly highway examples, including connected vehicles, hard shoulder running, ramp metering, and such. But the same concept of data to insights to control or action can be translated to address a lot of our challenges. And one of the biggest challenges we have right now as a region is transportation affordability. We are among the costliest transportation markets in the country relative to area median income. And in Tampa Bay, that number is about 22% of the area median income household budget. That's a lot, because when you look at large cities, that number is more in the range of 9 to 12, 13%. Other comparable mid-sized cities like Tampa or regions like Tampa Bay, that number is somewhere in that 17 to 19% range. So when we talk about the two biggest challenges of urbanization, modernity, housing and transportation, which are very interlinked, and that's why we have land use folks out here and transportation representatives, both from public, private, and academic sector. That is really critical. Where can we move the needle? And that's where technology should also focus its support on beyond other initiatives. So what's on the horizon? The Smart Cities Alliance is very, very active in multiple areas, some of which address this affordability issue. So we talked about Mobility as a Service Phase 2, which will go region-wide across transit agencies, across other local agencies as well. That should facilitate connections to the best airport in the country, Tampa International Airport. We're working on smart parking. So at the city, about 3 years ago, with the help of Mayor Castor and our city council, we updated our parking rates and policy. And we've gone from being in the red 3 years ago to having surpluses today that we're reinvesting in our mobility priorities. Alternative fuel corridors, smart corridors, again, reimagining infrastructure along with all of the local agencies in the area. A work zone mapping tool. This is really a unique partnership, again, for the whole region. So at any given moment, the city of Tampa has around 400 work zones on our streets of varying types. Scale that to the whole region, and that's a lot of work zones. And of course, work zone safety is critical, and managing work zones is critical for just about everything else that we do. And so FDOT is working with the city, is working with Hillsborough County and other agencies to coalesce around a single work zone management platform that also works with our individual right-of-way permitting systems. Now, this seems really boring, but the impact of it is quite significant. So typically, when a right-of-way permit is issued, it's for 30 days, and a contractor can come and work in that work zone at any point within the 30 days. So there's a good chance you have multiple contractors on a single facility on top of each other. That's where technology can help. If we can require contractors to let us know, just push a button on that app. Once they're there, we can manage work zones much better and expand that to a regional scale. It'll be very interesting to find out how much more efficient we are with managing our construction and work zones. And then finally, that brings us to advanced air mobility. With AAM, Tampa International Airport, and Hillsborough County's Aviation Authority has done a lot of work. And you're going to hear about that work today, how prepared we are as an airport, how prepared we are as a region to work together with other cities within Florida. That is our unique opportunity. Orlando, Tampa, Miami, Jacksonville, working together to connect our airports, to connect our CBDs, to facilitate those sub 250-mile trips and create other options to get around in a safe and fast manner. So with all of this going on, I won't take up any more of your time. Again, thank you for being here. Know that we're all doing meaningful work around advanced air mobility. And thank you to all of the folks that are participating and have helped make this happen. Up to you. Thank you.